Good.
Okay, call to order the regular council meeting for the corporation of the town of Cobalt to order on March 31st, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. Any? Public meetings, there are none. Deputations, delegations, there are none. 5, adoption of meeting agenda. Draft motion. Be it resolved that council approve the agenda of the regular meeting dated March 31st, 2026 as presented. Need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Anderson and Councillor Starchuk.
Question.
Yes.
You guys have 3rd or 31st on your page?
It was an error, so, and it was corrected to the 31st. Any discussion? Councillor Wilcox.
If I could, in your absence, we asked to have the last parts of the agenda, the schedules published on the net with the rest of the package, and apparently that wasn't done. And also, I'd received a complaint that the reports, staff reports, weren't published on our web. So I'm just wondering why that was.
I don't think there's any requirement for the procedural bylaw for the staff reports to be published. But we will double check and we will get back to council with that. Okay. And we'll get the schedule, rest of the schedule for the regular meetings posted.
The complaint I had was that it wasn't posted. So.
No, I said we will.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? All right, all in favor? Carried. 6, adoption of previous council minutes. Draft motion. Be it resolved that council approve the following minutes as presented. 6.1, regular meeting of council, March 3rd, 2026. Any errors, omissions? No. 6.2, special meeting of council, March 10th, 2026. Any errors or omissions? 6.3, special meeting of council, March 24th, 2026. Okay. Mover and a seconder. Councillor Starchuk and Councillor Anderson, any discussion? Errors or omissions on any of those 3? Okay, all in favor? Carried. 7, staff reports. Draft motion. Be it resolved that council accepts staff reports as presented. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Ward and Councillor Starchuk. And I'll go through them and we can do discussion at each point. 7.1, bylaw enforcement, February 2026. Any discussion? Okay. 7.2, staff report 2026-03-3101. Bylaw 2026-15, amendment number 9 to user fee. Bylaw 2023-33. Any discussion? Clarification? 7.3, staff report 2026-03-3102. Bylaw 2026-16, election signs bylaw. Any discussion? Clarification?
Just a couple of thoughts. This would appear to be replacing the bylaws we had previously, and I'm just wondering why that wasn't given to us so we can compare what this one is saying to the old one. Before I make a vote on this, certainly I would want to see that. And there were a couple of things that bothered me.
That's a new bylaw.
I'm sorry?
That's a new bylaw.
This one is, yes.
There is no old bylaw for election signs. Yeah, I don't remember ever.
Oh yeah, we used to have set distances signage from the polling booth and all that stuff.
Not in the previous elections anyway. So at our previous, like last folks meeting for the elections, one of the municipalities asked if anybody had one. So Chris Holland created this one and sent it out to everybody. So this is the bylaw that all the municipalities have asked.
And I don't remember there being a bylaw governing election signs. Councillor Anderson?
You know, we always knew and said about not being in, you know, the distance from the polling booths and everything. And I think that was part of, you know, the Ontario municipal bylaws and everything that we were following. Not something we did here. It was just an automatic thing because it was part of the overall Ontario laws.
Elections Canada, or elections rules.
Yeah.
Not
I
a
don't ever
bylaw.
remember actually having a bylaw like this.
Yes, Chris Osmond created this and sent it out to all the municipalities.
Mm-hmm.
So the only difference between the one that Chris Osmond sent out and the one that we're presenting to council today is that the rule that he had for being at the voting place was only on voting day. We changed it so that it's on advanced voting day and
That's
voting
right,
day.
yes.
So both times that there's going to be votes happening, those signs near the voting place.
Mhm.
That's the only difference.
That's a good change.
And I'll wait till we get to the bylaw itself to address that part.
All right, all in favor of accepting the reports? Okay, carried. 8, items for council consideration. Ombudsman investigation final report. Draft motion. Be it resolved that council acknowledges receipt of the Ombudsman investigation final report. And further, that council will post the investigation report on our website and have copies available for the public at the municipal office. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Starchuk? Councillor Anderson? Any discussion? Councillor Wilcox?
I note that the report requires us to give a response to it. I was wondering when we were going to have that discussion.
I missed that. I read through it.
I think it's at the very bottom.
The last part? Oh, number 31?
I think you just have to let them know how it's all available.
How you intend to address this.
Yeah, so we've addressed it to council, it'll be on our website, and the public can ask for a copy if they want to come, if they come to the office. That's our addressing it. So we've already let them know. That's how what we were going to do.
I don't think they needed to answer how we were dealing with it. It's just
just
accepting
how
the
they-
report and how we're going to distribute it.
Council is required to pass a resolution stating how it intends to address this report. So we need a resolution to that.
Address it as in we're posting it on our website and where I have copies available to the public. The ombudsman can't force anything, they can advise and do a report.
Yes, but council might want to do something more than that, I would think. So I would like to see something there that we're actually going to have a discussion about, perhaps at our next meeting.
Okay, well, this is the item before us at this point. And this motion is in place, so we need to complete this motion before we do anything else.
Well, the concerns that the ombudsman had about the way your budget meetings were done, those have been addressed because all members of council now are on the budget committee. And all those meetings are public, so.
Already been addressed. Yeah, it's already
There's
been
not much more you
addressed.
can do.
I don't know. We
don't have a budget committee anymore.
True, but that's not my concern. My concern is that, as they note in this report, our IC recommended
Excuse me.
something similar to, she says she didn't recommend what you actually did, but something similar to that, which the ombudsman has clearly noted was in opposition to what is required by the municipal act. That, I think, requires a decision by council.
Okay, well then that's a separate decision from this. And that's a request that we can have it on the next agenda to have a discussion about that.
That would be fine.
Okay. Carrying on. Anything else? Okay, all in favor? Carry. 8.2, tender to purchase municipal property, 17 Argentite Street. Draft motion, whereas 17 Argentite Street was declared as surplus to the municipal needs at the regular meeting of council on September 19th, 2023, and whereas council acknowledges receipt of the tender to purchase municipal land for 17 Argentite Street by Jackie Chang and Tiangying Liu for $1,054, therefore be it resolved that council, and I have a blank, approve or decline the sale of 17 Argentite Street to Jack Chan and Tiang Ying Lu for $1,054 plus applicable fees and direct staff to proceed with the necessary documents. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Anderson and Councillor Ward. Any discussion? Councillor Anderson.
33 by 32 foot size, the actual size now? Like how did that error occur?
The actual size is under the number 2, the information that I gave.
Pardon?
33 by 32, number 2.
Yeah, 33 by 32, yeah.
No, that's
1743
that's number
square.
3.
Oh, sorry, 1743 square feet.
1743.
Yes, that's the correct size, that's for the roll.
Is it big enough to build on? I can't remember the sizing for
For tiny homes,
tiny homes.
if it meets the building code for tiny homes, that would be up to the building inspector and whoever purchases the lot.
Much lower than $5,000 we're asking.
But it's quite the hill.
In number 3, is that the actual square footage was 1,053 square feet, so it's not 17.
No, that was incorrect.
That was incorrect information.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
incorrect.
Number 2 has the right,
Okay, so that is
not very big lot.
Was it right on the hill?
Sort of borders the parking lot by the CIBC, the old CIBC. Like it's sort of hard to tell.
So it's really, probably really not buildable, but they want a piece of this property for historical. That sounds good.
I know, we can't really ask them what they would, they're not required to tell us what they want.
No.
Well, sure, they should have.
They would still have to meet all the building code or whatever.
Mhm.
There's rules and regulations in place that govern what somebody can and cannot do. Councillor Ward.
Just a simple question. I'm assuming that's Canadian funds. I noticed that they're American.
Since we deal in Canadian funds, I would think.
Yeah, it would be Canadian.
Clean Earth Initiative.
Okay, just curious.
He just happens to live in Colorado. Jackie Chang.
Okay, anything else?
Well, approve or not approve? That's the question.
So I'll read, we'll go through and do a vote on approve. And if that's defeated, then we'll do a vote on decline. Okay? So I'll read the motion again. Whereas 17 Argentite Street was declared as surplus to the municipal needs at the regular meeting of council on September 19, 2023. Whereas council acknowledges receipt of the tender to purchase the municipal land for 17 Argentite Street by Jackie Chang and Tiang Ying Lu, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, for $1,054, Therefore, be it resolved that council approve the sale of 17 Argentite Street to Jack Chang and Chiang Ying Lu for $1,054 plus applicable fees and direct staff to proceed with the necessary documents. All right. And all in favor? And carried. Okay. So no need for another motion. Items for council information, draft motion. Be it resolved that council accept the items for council information as presented. Need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Wilcox and Councillor Hughes. 9.1 Northeastern Public Health, Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan 2025 meeting minutes. Any discussion? 9.2 Cobalt Wetlands 2025 performance review. Any questions to go back to Aqua? Councillor Wilcox.
You just saw it somewhere in that magnificent bunch of stuff. They noticed it was 1,200. I'm just wondering, does that include Coleman then, or how do they come up with that number? Our census said we had 989. So. I thought it was 1,200 and something.
You're using the numbers from before the last census.
Yeah. Well, perhaps they just have to update their file.
Anything else? All right, all in favor? Carried. 10, bylaws and amendments. 10.1, bylaw number 2026-13, tax ratios 2026. Draft motion, be it resolved that bylaw number 2026-13, being a bylaw to establish tax ratios for 2026, be taken as read a first, second, and third time this 31st day of March 2026. And further, that the said bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Anderson? Councillor Starchuk? Any discussion on the bylaw? No? All right. All in favor? Carried. 10.2, bylaw number 2026-14, tax rates for 2026. Draft motion. Whereas at the special meeting of council on March 24th, 2026, the 2026 budget was approved in the amount of $346,492, which includes a capital budget of $609,626 and an operating budget of $3,736,866, and which requires a levy for the municipal purposes in the amount of $923,823. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2026-14, being a bylaw to provide for the adoption of the 2026 tax rate for the municipal and school purposes, and to further provide penalty and interest for payments in default, be taken as read a first, second, and third time this 31st day of March 2026. And further, that the said bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Anderson? Councillor Ward? Any discussion? Councillor Hughes?
Where does it say the percentage of increase? Or is that not coming up yet? We're talking about,
Sorry?
oh, it's not, okay.
We usually set out the dollar amount in the resolution. Anything else? All in favor? Carried. 10.3, draft bylaw 2026-15, amendment number 9 to user fee bylaw 2023-33. As related to report, staff report 2026-03-3101. Draft motion. Whereas council received staff report 2026-03-3101, which detailed a cost recovery analysis on user fees with the following recommendations. Increase to water, operating and water capital. Increase of sewer operating and sewer capital. Increase of $40 to OPP and a new $50 OPP vacant lot user fee. Now therefore be it resolved that bylaw 2026-15 being a bylaw to adopt amendment number 9 to user fee bylaw 2023-33 be taken as read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 31st day of March 2026. And further that the said bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Wilcox and Councillor Hughes. I'll start off the discussion by asking staff what the increase to water operating and water capital is so the public is aware.
It's a variable amount.
Okay, a percentage?
Another percentage on top of my head, but for residential, it goes up from $664.62 to $709. For operating one, commercial operating one, $517.20 up to $615. Commercial water rate two, $969.73 up to $1,150. Institutional from $2,770 to $3,300. And then the water capital rate is $127.24 up to $160.
Okay.
So the variable.
Okay, so what's the actual increase for the residential? One? I just like the set out for the public's.
$25.38.
$125?
Yeah.
And the commercial?
One. Commercial one. $97.80.
$97.80? And what was the other category, sorry?
Commercial two.
Yeah,
$180.27.
okay.
Could you repeat that? I missed.
180 and 27 cents, I think.
All right,
So add that with the 90 something.
okay, and then the,
Institutional is $529.43.
and 43 cents?
Yeah.
Okay.
Water capital is going up $32.56.
And water capital, $32.56. Okay. Increase of sewer and operating and sewer capital?
Sewer operating is going up $29.
Okay.
And sewer capital is going up $2. And these are annual.
Right here.
$2. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so any discussion? Councillor Wilcox.
Well, we don't, might as well explain what the OPP vacant lot fee now is and why it's there.
Okay.
That was, sure.
So the OPP vacant lot is a new charge that we established for this year. So every property in town is charged an OPP fee. It's not in our levy. It's an additional fee like your water and your sewer. So that means your vacant lots, any vacant lots that we have in town, which we have upwards of 100, they're not being charged any OPP fees. So anybody who has a shed or storing, say, a cargo trailer or anything on those lots, they're not paying any OPP fees on that. So it's just to cover those lots as well.
If your OPP charges were charged separately and it was included, say, in your general revenue, then every property on your roll would be charged a percentage of the OPP increases. So this way it encapsulates the ones that aren't being charged.
Fairness across the board. Anything else?
Taxes are never fair.
No, they are not. A misnomer. unfairness equally across the board.
That's closer, yeah.
And necessary evil, yes. Anything else? No? All right, all in favor? Carried. 10.4, bylaw number 2026-16, election signs bylaw. It's related to staff report 2026-03-3102. Draft motion, whereas council received staff report 2026-03-3102, be it resolved that bylaw number 2026-16, being a bylaw to regulate election signs within the town of Cobalt, be taken as read a first, second, and third time this 31st day of March 2026. And further, that the said bylaw be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk. A mover and a seconder. Councillor Starchuk and Councillor Ward. Any discussion? Councillor Wilcox.
The first thing I would question is the 75-meter circle within which election signs are restricted. And that strikes me as being a great deal of overreach. I very much feel that people who own property are entitled to do pretty much whatever they like with that property. And putting this magic circle around there is taking away that privilege from a large number of property owners. And I'm not sure it's fair. I'm not sure it's necessary. In many days gone by, for us, I believe it was 50 feet from the polling center. I can remember because I used to measure up the hill from the polling center to the highway, well, 11B, and I used to put my sign at 52 feet just to make sure I was going with the thing. And nobody said boo about it. Nobody seemed upset about it. And one councillor has a property that would be affected by that. And if that councillor were to put up one of my signs on his property, I'd be quite delighted, and I would hope that it would stay there up to and including election day. So that's one thing I really object to. I think that's really, really overkill.
Yeah.
So sorry, I actually forgot, that was another change that we made from Coleman's original bylaw they sent us. They actually had 100 meters. So, which was obviously a massive overstretch for us. So at the last election, we were measuring from Highway 11B, like the bank corners down. So that's where I changed it to enclose, just go up to that point. So that's where it got reduced to the 75 meters. Because that's what we were enforcing last year. And so in speaking of Councillor property as well, we did require him to take, so there were signs up on, we did have to take those signs off at the last election as well.
Okay, but just of interest, I did look in, I Googled a whole lot of this stuff, and the federal government seems quite happy to limit signs not being posted in the polling station itself, in the building housing the polling station, and up to and including the parking lot for that polling station. And that's all the federal government worries about. Provincially, one of the ones out west does 50 feet. The most that I've seen was 100 meters. Ontario doesn't seem to have a recommended limit. So it seems, and generally it's up to municipalities. So I would say we close that in with quite a bit. I don't think that's necessary. And quite honestly, somebody who's got one up on Silver Street, a house, that's far and away from the polling station. I'm not sure we can say they're going to have a dramatic influence on the vote.
For curiosity's sake, because some of us are distance challenged, how many feet is 75 meters?
Quite a bit. 3 times that.
200 feet? 180.
Yeah, it's not that far.
180 feet.
About 180, yeah.
Around there. I wasn't brought up on it.
I'm with you.
Cobalt's not big enough for 75 meters. Maybe we should drop it 25 meters. It's not on the property of the polling station.
Councillor Anderson?
Yeah, I worked a lot of votes down there, except for the municipal votes, but, federal and provincial. And basically what we did was we took a look And it was within sight of the building. You know, so within sight of, people are coming in the front door. So, you know, kind of an arc up and down the street from there. So, didn't go far.
Counselors, I can't. Sorry, John, I can't. Counselor Starchuck?
I was gonna say how high, like, I know there's that way, but how about in the sky? Like, if someone decides to do a drone or something with a sign on it, you know?
I think we'll wait until we come across something like that.
Someone that can afford a drone.
We're not getting a hot air balloon, are we?
Counselor Ward.
I noticed on here, it's only on the advanced voting day and the election day that they're concerned about the signage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, you can have your signs there anytime.
Mhm.
And you're only actually like 35 meters away from the voting station, one direction, so it's not really that far.
If I'm here for election day and there's signs close to the polling station that are up against the poll, I'll be taking them down.
Yeah.
With this bylaw.
Well,
Because it's in the municipal act for elections. This is just formalizing the.
Where in the municipal act? I've not seen it.
if you enter private property and remove a sign, you can be charged
It's the elections act, sorry.
for trespassing. And I'm saying that
But
because
there's
I
anything-
own property right
Like
across.
signs
from the
shouldn't be
voting
visible from the polling station.
Do you know where in the Elections Act I can look? Okay, well, I'll check that out. Another thought, you know, part of the description of municipal property includes parks. Across from our building, the post office, we have the Historical Society's building, and that, is that called a park?
Across from the municipal office?
Yeah.
Across from the municipal office, it is, yeah.
It is a park, so there would be no signs permitted there according to this bylaw?
I don't think there's been signs there in the past. There are usually up the other side of the street.
Every time, it's opposite the post office. Everybody goes to the post office. If you're serious about getting elected, you want a sign where everybody's gonna get a chance to see it.
All right, well,
Municipality should stay neutral. That's the problem. As a municipality, we should stay neutral. So if we're allowing one person to do something, that's why we should stay neutral.
and it's always been you couldn't put a sign on municipal property.
The whole town is municipal property.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We got a few
Municipal
loopholes.
parks.
Yeah.
there's some things that gotta be changed.
Mhm.
Like I said, this is the bylaw that all the other municipalities have passed or will be passing. We have been in discussions with them as well. But this is the one that everybody else is passing. So I'm not saying that we have to have it, but that is what everybody else is.
Good luck
Yeah.
finding any place to put signs, anybody who's thinking of running, because most of the good spots are now off limits,
That's right.
or will be, so I'm not voting for this, just to let you know. My last point then is gonna be on advanced voting day and election day. No election signs are permitted within the red circle, including on private property or road allowances, which is interesting. Then under part 11 exceptions, election signs placed on private property with the consent of the private property owner, subject to safety restrictions, are permitted. So which one of those is true? They can't coexist on the same piece of paper.
It depends, if regular days or election days. Election days are different.
Doesn't say that.
Election signs are permitted. Election signs are not permitted.
Election signs are not permitted on advanced voting day and voting day. And the rest of the time,
They are.
they are permitted. It's only for those 2 days that they cannot be there.
Okay, and again, for anybody who's thinking of putting up election signs, that's gonna be a real pain in the butt to run out and pick it up for a day and run back and pick it up again.
That's what you have to do. Technically, that's what I always done.
I think it's overkill by a mile.
Well, and in all honesty, you're lucky if your signs are still there anyway. come election day, but,
You can't put it anywhere in town property. There's no sense getting elections. Because the only two other places I would have put it are on Colton property. And if they pass the same thing.
social medias.
So do we want to postpone this for, till the next meeting so that everybody can dwell on it a bit more and do their own research?
I certainly want to check out the Elections Act.
Okay, so we're gonna defer this? So deferred. What's the date of the next meeting? Deferred to
April 28th.
April 28th. We need to vote on deferring it? Okay. 11, unfinished business. There is none. 12, new business. 12.1, schedule of accounts. Draft motion, be it resolved that council receive the following schedules as presented. Schedule number 2026-04 in the amount of $242,136.48. Mover and seconder. Councillor Anderson? Councillor Wilcox? Any clarification required? All in favor? Carried. Mayor's report. I'd just like to remind council and the public about the upcoming memorial bench that's being presented in April at the Drummond Cairn beside the library. If you stay tuned to our Facebook page, we'll have the exact date on there. And I believe it was the 25th, but we'll confirm that and post it. And if council has any questions on the date, they can email the office and ask for the actual date.
We'll send out a reminder.
Okay.
For people that want to go.
The other thing, I'd like to get a feel from council about doing an appreciation lunch for the staff. This winter has been extremely challenging. They've had to deal with a lot of complaints, a lot of sour people. I know the public's not happy. Unfortunately, we can't control Mother Nature. And I think it would be nice to give them a show of appreciation. And I'd just like to get the feel of council on that before I go spending money on a pizza lunch for Public Works in the office.
I think that's a good idea, because if you spend time enlisted after, these guys have done for so few, have done an amazing cleanup job, and they are still cleaning up. But you know, things were cleaned up and opened faster. You know, and stuff like, I know there was sidewalk, you know, it was a pretty narrow opening, but to get to the church for Wednesday services, that kind of thing. You know, so there was extras done, and yeah, we had piles and piles of snow. It's going to melt, isn't it?
Councillor Starchuk?
Bigger snowstorm, I forget what date it was, but I was at 1 o'clock in the morning because I had to be at work for 4:30, so I started hand shoveling a path for the vehicle to get out of the driveway. These guys were out.
And our guys were out there, yes.
The whole night, coming by, right? So I just kept digging more out, but they were working really hard. It was it was a bad storm. It was a lot of work for everybody.
Yeah, I didn't go to bed till midnight, and I'd seen them go by a few times before that, so.
And the next morning before they quit, like, it was sort of mid-morning, and, you know, they just did one swipe, so one lane swipe down our street, but at least everyone on our street was able to get a note. So they just kept going and going and going to get everyone as free as they could. And they've been tackling it ever since, so yes, an appreciation lunch would be great.
Anybody else? All right, a yay or nay, I'll just go around the table. Councillor Hughes?
Nay.
Councillor Starchuk?
Yay. I like to discuss it in private.
Yay.
Yep. And yeah, so the majority of council. And we can't discuss it in private because we're spending public money.
Or we're not spending public money.
Okay, 14, closed meetings, draft bylaw. Be it resolved that council convene in closed session as per section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended in order to address a matter pertaining to subsection 2D, labor relations or employee negotiations. Mover and a seconder. Councillor Ward and Councillor Starchuk. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Well, you're going to take a 10-minute recess, and we will not be returning to video after close.